Do you wonder why you act the way you do in your dating relationships? If so, you are like most people, and you may have poked around online a bit to study attachment styles. Attachment styles are the way that you connect to another human being, to connect and give and receive love and share needs and all of those good things. But you may have no idea what attachment styles are, or where they come from, or how they formed, or why. And that is a big part of fixing it. So if you are having some attachment issues that you need help with, or if you have always wondered how to fix your attachment style, today is the day you are about to learn where they come from and what we can do about them. I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. I'm going to be walking you through this process here today. It is actually very simple once you understand it, but it's something I've had to specialize in because it's not something I learned about when I was a psychotherapist and I went through graduate school. In fact, most psychotherapists do not learn much about attachment theory at all, which is why I have to go around training so many psychotherapists and healthcare providers and so many people in the Western world about attachment theory. Today I'm going to teach you, and you're going to carry it for the rest of your life. So I'm going to share a couple resources throughout the course of this video, and if you need more help and more information, go onto my website, adamlanesmith.com. There you will find a ton of resources, information, ways to connect with me. If you want to email me on there, there's all kinds of resources to be found on my website, adamlanesmith.com. Hit me up there. I even have a free attachment styles guide on there if you want help finding out which attachment style you have, because it's very important to know where you're starting from. So let's break right into this. What are the attachment styles and where do they come from and what can you do about them? Let's fix that too, because that's my specialty. Attachment styles, like I said, are the way you connect other people to give and receive love. If you grew up believing that you don't deserve love, your parents were super critical and they made you earn approval from them all the time, and they told you it was your fault. Even if they didn't say it verbally, that was what their language told you, their behaviors told you, their expectations told you, and you felt it was your fault. That could be an anxious attachment style. Anxious attachment style in adult relationships look like you never being able to share your needs, but you do 10 nice things for the other person, hoping they'll figure out and decipher your clues for what your needs are. It's the nice guy syndrome for guys trying to earn their way into a woman's pants with good boy points, the way he would try to please mom. It's women doing anything to prevent them from being abandoned. Anything, even things that they hate and feel ashamed of. Chronic fear of abandonment really defines anxious attachment style, and it's the belief that you deserve to be abandoned, that there is something so wrong with you deep down on the inside that everybody else is able to see it and you cannot do anything about it because it's an immutable characteristic that makes you wrong. That's anxious attachment style, and it comes from fear of abandonment as a child. Fear that you deserve to be abandoned and nobody else was going to meet your needs. Sometimes you might have gone into daycare way too early. You could have been in the NICU and not had someone hold you and care for you. It could be that one of your parents walked away and abandoned you in childhood. Maybe there was abuse. Maybe there was neglect. Maybe your parents were just depressed or vastly overworked, but something went wrong and you believed as a little child that it was your fault. Now you've never questioned it. So as an adult, you carry those beliefs into the modern day and into your dating and romantic relationships. It can also go the other direction, where your brain recognized there was something wrong with the people around you, that they didn't give and receive love, that they were hurtful to each other, and all of them had problems, and your brain said, no, this isn't me, this is you guys, and you're nuts, and I have to manage your feelings so that you'll do what I need and take care of me, but I'm going to keep all you guys right here. This is called avoidant attachment style. It's the belief that inevitably, sometimes, somebody, everybody is eventually going to betray you. When their feelings aren't good enough, the relationship falls apart. In adult dating relationships, this looks like keeping people at arm's length, keeping people out, not sharing your needs, being afraid to ever open up because you're afraid it will be used against you, the belief that your partner is eventually going to betray you, so fear of commitment, really common, because why would you want to trap yourself into a relationship where you're doomed to be miserable eventually? Not that people with avoidance never get married, but even once they do, they're usually scared. They're the ones who get smothered by the anxious people and say, I can't take this, and they back way off. Now, some people with avoidant attachment actually become manipulative. Not all, and not even the majority, but they may become manipulative. They are the ones who gaslight, who control, who lie, who manage other people, almost like livestock, push them around like objects. I'm not talking about full personality disorder issues, but that can be one outgrowth of this in extreme cases, is really big personality disorders. That's a big thing that we need to track, but even just the avoidant attachment style itself can cause so much damage in a relationship. And frankly, so can the anxious attachment style. They smother their partner, and then they're constantly terrified and need endless reassurance. And they hate it themselves just as much as the other person does. Now you might be asking, Adam, is there an exciting third form that combines both of these? Yes, the disorganized attachment style, also called fearful avoidant, also called anxious-avoidant. There's a lot of confusion about what the name should be, and the naming scheme is just as chaotic as it is living with this one. People who have anxious and avoidant at the same time are afraid of themselves and afraid of others. They don't know which one they are going to say is going to sabotage the situation. Me or them? Am I going to break and run away, or are they going to break and screw me over? What's going to go wrong? So they are more liable when they smell a change in the air. They get scared. They are more likely to burn the house down, jump out the window, then feel bad about it, kick in the door, come rushing back in to try to earn approval while the house is still burning. This is disorganized attachment style. They don't mean to be hurtful. No one suffers from it more than they do. But that's the exciting third version, disorganized style. All of these can come from in childhood, having to earn approval, having to make people like you, having to stay safe. All of these are mechanisms to stay safe in your adult relationships, the way that you had to stay safe as a child. The brain generalizes and says the way that I was treated as a child is how every adult in the world is going to treat me for the rest of my life. It doesn't do a case-by-case basis anymore after a certain age. It just shifts right into generalizing and terror. So let's talk about fixing this, because that's the specialty that I have, is how to make people feel better from this. Attachment styles can be fixed. I was reading an article just in The Atlantic the other day, and they are finally catching up to all this work and training I've been doing for 15 years, saying, hey, attachment styles can actually change. Yes. If you have one of those 3 attachment styles that were broken, you can shift instead to the secure attachment style. Now, what this requires is knowing the key steps, things like opening up to other human beings and sharing your insecurity to test if everyone on Earth is really going to act the way that you expected them to act, or if they're going to act better. And if they do act better, how consistently do they act better? And why do they act better? And what do they actually want from you? I talk about this part a lot in my attachment bootcamp video course as I walk people through the 10 steps to fix attachment. But what you need to carry from there is this key lesson. It's not enough to know that somebody might love you. You have to test it. You have to experience that person's love for you. You must actually test to see if you are going to die if you open up to the other person. So for example, inside my attachment bootcamp course, there's module 10, which talks about the female sex drive and how it can get hurt if intimacy is low or if trauma is high. She needs to actively experience better trust and better connection in the bedroom and out of the bedroom to be able to increase her drive toward her partner and feel safer and bonded. It's not enough for a woman to say, well, I mean, I know he wouldn't do those things, but I don't have any proof of it. Proof? Definitive proof that he actually cares for her and that she is safe does more for female sex drive than all the knowing or imagining in the world. This is because oxytocin bonding is so incredibly important. And oxytocin bonding happens through experience, not just through sitting and thinking. And the same way, in Module 11 in my Attachment Bootcamp course, male bonding happens, like I've talked about, through vasopressin experiences. Your brain actually proves to itself that the other person is going to work in good faith with you to solve problems. You have figured it out in experience and definitive proof right there, tangibly in front of you, that this person is going to work with you. This is why the brain clicks onto that and vasopressin bonds and holds onto that, associates it with that person and holds on to them, because you have experienced that deeper connection with that human being. This is how men more deeply invest into a relationship where they become more emotionally intimate. This is incredibly important. That's why I made it Module 11 toward the end of the course, to protect that investment you are making and to show you how to have that mental experience instead of just the mental thoughts. Now you can pick up that course by clicking this button right here. Experience rules the day, which is why you need to be making sure you are having the right experiences. It is so vitally important to make sure you pick the top 3 human beings who are actually going to connect with you and trust you. So everything that you have learned about attachment here on this channel, I suggest you go back, for example, and look at the green flags video for green flags in dating, green flags in individuals. That right there, I'm going to link it right here. Very important video so that you can see what you should be looking for in a secure relationship. Once you understand how to find the exact person that you can open up to, 3 people actually, to prove that to you, you can begin overhauling your attachment style. That undoes the damage from your childhood with those lessons that you learned that said, no one else is to ever be trusted, I'm not to be trusted, or I'm not trustworthy and neither is anyone else, so everything is on fire. If you undo those three things by 3 healthy examples with experiences, that's where your attachment begins to change. And that opens up new relationships where you can say, there's nothing wrong with me. I deserve to be loved. I'm not perfect, but I don't have to be. I can just tell people what things are wrong and we'll fix it together. That heals the anxious attachment style. Avoidance style looks like this. I can trust other people. Maybe not everybody, but these core people have proven that if I open up to them, I'm not alone anymore. I don't have to feel alone and scared. I can tell them what's wrong, and in good faith, they will give me space, or they will help me without exploiting me and hurting me. And I don't have to fluff their feelings and ego all the time. They'll just help me because they actually love me. Disorganized style is the biggest change of all. I can trust other people to hold me accountable. And also when something feels not right, I can just ask, like, is something changing? Are you mad at me? Is it okay? Is it shut down? Like, what do we need to do? And they'll really tell me. They'll really help me so I don't have to be sensitive and scared all the time. I can relax. This is what it looks like to fix your attachment styles. It makes everything else in your life easier. This is why I teach and I get so excited about attachment, because when you fix these, you put life off of death march difficulty onto easy difficulty. Maybe it doesn't make finances magically click that easier, but you know what? It gives you the ability to connect to people in more realistic situations and fix job issues, business issues, relationships, all of those pieces that affect your finances. You can begin fixing that too. A better attachment fixes all the other pieces of your life over time, but you've got to do the experiences and have those life-changing events. You must experience it so your brain believes it. So this is what it means for you to have attachment issues as a kid, have your attachment style now, and fix it. This changes everything in your grown-up relationships because now you can get your needs met, you can have better conversations, you can open up and just relax. You don't have to just flop on a couch and be that relaxed. I mean, you can talk to the other person about what you need. You can say, hey, you know what? This is bothering me. Can we work on this? That's simple. What if you could do that in all your relationships? Hey, you know what? This is bothering me. Can we fix this together? And know the other person's gonna go, oh, well, yeah, sure. Oh, what don't you like about it? How can we fix it? You know, I don't love hearing that, but I'm going to work with you on it because I want it to be good for both of us. Yeah, sure. Let's fix it. What would change if you could do that? How simple would life become? Simple. No more overthinking, no more anger, no more stress, no more guessing, no more games. All of a sudden, everything becomes point and click. Very straightforward. That's the goal of all of this. And then you can build loving relationships that last for a lifetime. That's why, because you don't sabotage it. And frankly, neither does the other person. They should be fixing their attachment too. If you're in a relationship right now and both of you have attachment issues, my attachment bootcamp course, I'm going to link it down below in the description. You've heard about it a couple times, but the reason why is it's such a great educational resource that again guides you into the experiences you need to have. Don't just watch that course, then experience the lessons inside that course. Follow the practical steps that I give you and do it. Do it as a couple. You will actually improve your attachment styles together as a couple and experience that change. Then you'll be the first person either one of you has opened up to, and that's human superglue. So up next, here's what I suggest you do is click onto my YouTube channel and just type secure. I've got a couple of videos, a couple of different ones about what secure attachment is supposed to look like. Check those out because if you're just hearing about this or you've always wondered what secure attachment should look like, I've got some videos here on this channel that will show you this is what secure relationships will look like. Check those out. And at the same time, if you need more help with this, drop me a comment below and say, Adam, here's where I'm at. Can you help me? Drop me a comment below and say, hey, Adam, I have these questions. Hit me with them. That's awesome. If you want to take this privately, you can email me at support@adamlanesmith.com or hit me through my website, adamlanesmith.com. Both of those are really great options, but drop me a comment below. Tell me this. What experiences do you need to have to repair you? Who would you need to hear from? What would you need to do? What would you need to say? What have you held back on doing? What are you most afraid of that would actually overhaul your life? Be a little bit honest. Hopefully I'll get some honest people in this one. Drop me that comment below and let's talk about what steps it would take to get you to do that. Because if that's what's holding you back, we got to build you a plan.